You don't become dangerous the moment you fight the system. That's what they want you to believe. They want you angry, loud, reactive, marching in circles they already mapped out for you. Because a person who fights the system is still oriented around it, still dependent on it for meaning, for identity, for opposition. But something very different happens when you stop needing it at all, when your survival no longer depends on their permission, when your validation no longer comes from their approval, when your sense of self no longer requires their rules, rewards, or punishments. That's when the system starts to feel something it can't manage. Not rebellion, not protest, irrelevance. And nothing terrifies a system more than someone who can walk away without begging, without announcing it, without burning themselves alive just to be seen. This is not a story about overthrowing anything. This is about becoming so internally complete that the system loses its leverage over you and suddenly realizes it no longer knows how to control you. Friedrich Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But here's the part people miss. When your why is no longer supplied by the system, the how stops being dictated by it too. That's when danger quietly enters the room. Why the system needs your dependence. The system does not survive on force alone. Force is expensive. Force creates resistance. The system survives on dependence. It trains you to need it for money, for identity, for structure, for legitimacy, for self-worth. From childhood, you are taught that value comes from compliance. Grades, certificates, job titles, social approval, algorithmic validation. All subtle ways of saying, you exist because we say you do. So when someone fights the system while still needing its validation, its platforms, its applause, its enemy status, they are not dangerous. They are predictable. The system can label them, market them, suppress them, or even turn them into entertainment. But when someone quietly detaches, when they stop emotionally, psychologically, and existentially needing the system to define them, that's when control mechanisms start failing. Because now, threats don't work the same way. Rewards don't hit the same way. Fear doesn't land where it used to. A dependent mind can be steered. An independent mind can be ignored only for so long, and eventually it becomes contagious. In the movie Fight Club, Tyler Durden says, "You are not your job. You are not how much money you have in the bank." Most people hear that as rebellion. But it's actually detachment, because once you stop anchoring your identity to the system's scorecard, you stop being emotionally blackmailable. And that is where the real threat begins. The power of not needing permission. The solution is not rage. It is not revolution. It is not dramatic exits or public declarations. The solution is internal sovereignty. You become dangerous when your sense of worth no longer rises and falls with external approval. When your lifestyle no longer requires constant validation from structures designed to control you. When your goals are no longer shaped by what the system can reward or punish. This is why the system subtly discourages self-sufficiency of thought. It promotes constant comparison, endless consumption, permanent distraction. Because a distracted person keeps needing guidance. A fearful person keeps needing protection. A hollow person keeps needing permission. But a grounded person who knows who they are without applause, who can sit in silence without panicking, who can choose discomfort without feeling like a failure, That person does not need to fight the system. They outgrow it. And systems cannot negotiate with people who no longer want what they offer. How to detach without burning your life down. This is not about quitting everything overnight. That's still reaction. That's still emotional dependence in disguise. This is about subtraction. Start by removing the system from your identity, not your logistics. Stop introducing yourself by what you do for money. Stop measuring your worth by productivity alone. Stop outsourcing your self-respect to numbers, likes, titles, or applause. Build skills that work outside centralized permission structures. Skills that make you adaptable instead of obedient. Skills that travel with you if rules change overnight. Reduce your emotional exposure to things you don't control. News cycles, outrage loops, endless comparison feeds. These are dependency machines. Create something small that belongs only to you. A routine, a craft, a body you train, a mind you sharpen. Something the system cannot take away without your consent. Because the moment you realize you can survive with less approval than you were promised you needed, something inside you recalibrates. Fear loosens its grip. Urgency fades. You stop begging reality to validate you. And that is when the system quietly starts losing its influence over you. Not because you attacked it, but because you no longer require it to tell you who you are.